I'm here outside the DW Stadium next to the Dave Whelan statue, obviously holding the FA Cup that they won in 2013 against Manchester City. Obviously the biggest club achievement since he took over the club in 1995. Hopefully this club can survive the current plight. And the next interview is a Wigan fan that I've probably met for about 6 months now, Nathan Sinclair. Obviously Dan back at the studio.
Hi Nathan, how are you?
I'm shocked and stunned by what's gone on in the last 24 hours.
Nathan, just lower your camera a little bit so I can. There you go. Lower it a little bit more. There you go. Right, so yeah, obviously, last 24 hours, you guys have gone to administration. Obviously, you were taking over in. I think the second takeover was in May time.
4th of June. It was only 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, 4th of June. Yeah. So obviously, it's crazy times for you to go into administration. Obviously, it was a shock to you. What's your initial thoughts and reaction?
Well, my initial thoughts were that I was shocked and stunned, and then reading around it in the last 24 hours, it looks like we've been conned, and maybe some other dodgy things have gone on with the finances with regards to a loan from one company to another that both have all the same owners, and different stuff like that.
Yeah. Obviously, the 12-point deduction will come in place at the end of the season or the beginning of next season, depending if you're relegated or not. Obviously, I think you're 8 points above the relegation zone at the minute.
Yeah.
Do you think you can get out of it? I mean,
the form we're on, I'd say yeah, but it depends on the players staying as a cohesive unit, which I think they will, going off the tweets that they were putting out yesterday, the captain and the players. But it depends on. Yesterday they were saying we had enough money to run for the rest of the season, and then this morning they've said there's a 75% chance that we've got enough money. And now they're saying we might not be paying the players at the end of this month, so it keeps changing every hour. But then the statement from the administrators and Darren Royal and Jonathan Jackson to the supporters club yesterday, which I've got a big on my phone, the writing of it, says that we weren't in financial difficulty, and the only thing that's happened is the major shareholders have just walked away, and that we were actually in financial difficulty.
Wow, it's unbelievable. I think I saw you mention on social media that you think it's what was it, a loan agreement that was.
So everybody's saying, so we were owned by one company that was headed by Stanley Choi and other guys.
Yeah.
And then in June, we were moved to another company that was headed by the same people, but a different company. So it was classed as a takeover, even though the same people owned it.
Right. Okay.
But then to buy the club, something like the club had to get a loan for 28 million to the first company. And then there was an interest rate of 8%, which goes up to 20%. But then as soon as they walk away, that means the new owner or us have to pay that loan. So it makes you think, did they walk away because they knew they'd set that loan up at a 20% interest rate, so they'd get that money?
Unbelievable.
There's no other reason I can think of why. Why would you go from it being an interest-free loan in the first company to all of a sudden setting it up as a 20% interest loan after 6 months and then just dropping out 3 weeks later?
It doesn't make no sense, does it? I mean, do you think they pulled the wool over the EFL's eyes, because obviously they need to go through a fit and proper test to take over the club?
If you take a club over on the 4th of June and it goes into administration on the 1st of July, then there's a serious issue. If you went through the fit and proper persons test 4 weeks before.
Yeah. It's unprecedented times. I mean, obviously, Wigan Athletic's form, you're unbeaten in 3. Well, sorry, you're unbeaten in 9, but you've won the last 3. You've not conceded a goal. So
we were only joking about 12 hours before that. Oh, we're only 11 points off the playoffs with 6 to go.
Oh, jeez.
And then we woke up the day after and we were gone bust.
I mean, obviously, the remainder of the season, you've got 6 games left. You've got 3 at home, 3 away. Looking at those fixtures, I mean, the 3 home games, quite winnable in my eyes.
The only one that I think isn't winnable if they carry on playing like they have is this Saturday, but I think we could even get points from that. And part of me thinks, how angry I am. If the players are as angry as I am, it could fire them up to actually perform better. But it depends. Like if they're not going to, if there's stuff about getting paid and things, then that's going to demotivate them.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
depends what's going on.
You're away at Brentford this weekend, aren't you? So
Yeah,
obviously it's a tough game because they're third in the league. So
yeah.
but,
So is Leeds and West Brom.
True, exactly. I mean, obviously with this 12-point deduction coming at the end of the season, technically now you are bottom of the league, should we say? What with the form you're on, I have a funny sneaky suspicion you'll retain your status as a championship club. I don't know why that is, but I think with the form you're on,
I don't know if you're 8 points clear and you keep the team, and there's only one game which is difficult, then you'd think that enough teams had dropped points to get you 12 points clear.
Yeah.
The disaster for me, I know we don't want to go down to League One, but the disaster for me would be doing what other teams have done, was taking the deduction the season after when you are, the scenario where they said if you're already in the relegation zone, you take it the season after, and that's how people end up getting relegated. Twice, one after another.
Yeah, I don't understand that rule really. I mean, if
a club's struggling, all that rule does is screw you over. You double it.
Yeah.
It doesn't protect clubs, does it?
No. I mean, the news report's coming out this morning that there's 12 rumored parties to be involved in the potential buying of the club. I mean,
I presume that's a big positive. I don't know what other clubs have had. The day that they've got administration, but 12 seems a high figure for interest.
Yeah, I mean, I think they need to. I think they need to show proof of £10 million for.
Yeah.
But for me, 10 million is a bit low. It's as though you've recorded losses consecutively in the last 2 years. So.
I don't know. I don't know how it all works, that side of it. So I just hope that somebody genuine comes in. Yesterday I was a bit hopeful that Whelan might do something because he hinted at it, but then I've heard other things today. So I don't know what's going to go on.
Yeah, there was quite a few talk on the internet in regards to Dave Whelan, but I mean, is he mid-80s now? He's
on the interview that I listened to yesterday, he said he's going to have to stick his nose in, look at the figures, and help in any way he can.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
The best thing I could think of it that would help was by just even if he wasn't going to take over, just to clear that stupid loan for 20%, just pay it now so it's done, and then you've got that off our backs at least.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I mean, obviously with the financial situation now, there's going to be a few players that will leave at the end of the season. I mean, depending on the buyers. I mean, depending who comes in and takes the club over, but. I mean, if you retain your status as a championship club, is there any way back from here? I mean,
depends, doesn't it? Depends on who takes over the club, how much money they've got. We were looking like a really good team. Do you remember earlier in the season? I said maybe we need some time to gel, and after that half a season, we've been a top form team in the championship. So everyone was really hopeful. So I don't know. I'm probably wishing for something that can't happen, in that I'm hoping that somebody will take over before or very close to the season ends, so that the players have an option at least to stay, depending on who takes over. But I don't know what. It's not long, is it? It's 4 weeks, so it'd have to be very fast. And there was no sign of this happening. Like, I was on a fans forum, and then I was on a call because I sit on like this supporters board thing with, and there was no mention of it. We were discussing kits in future years, and everything was, as it was, and apparently people didn't know themselves until yesterday. It's all very strange. And Paul Cook knew nothing about it till 10 o'clock yesterday morning.
Unbelievable. Imagine being Paul Cook and waking up to that story on BBC One this morning.
It's very strange. It's like, especially when we just invested money to become a better tier academy, and they were talking about concerts at the ground, and they'd bought the big television screen in the corner. So something's changed. I don't know. I keep thinking, is it something to do with all this politics as well in Hong Kong and China? Could that be part of it, that they're trying to, that they don't want to have an interest in this country? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange times. I mean, standard 442 starts coming to Wigan games and you start winning. Do you know what I mean? And now all this, it's just
it's
crazy
a
time.
roller coaster, isn't it? As a Wigan
Yeah.
fan, you never know. And then this morning I woke up, the postman came, and guess what was in the mail?
What?
Bloody match day program
Joking.
for the next match.
No way. Unbelievable.
for the subscription for the next game.
Well, like I say, you got Brentford this weekend away, so again, a tough game on paper, but like I said, with the form you're in, you never know, and we'll have to see what mood the manager and the players are in. And
fingers crossed, the players will stay a unit. They've been tweeting really good things at Sam Morsey and a lot of the squad, and then it's just hoping that one of these 12 people is someone genuine, or some prince from somewhere with people were even spreading a rumor that I'm not so keen on, because I'm a trade union man myself, that Mike Ashley might do it as his final dig at Dave Whelan, because they were big competitors, and to change the name of the stadium from the DW.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was rumours yesterday that he might do it as his final stab in the back.
My word. Imagine that getting takeover from Newcastle and then straight away going into Bayern Wigan.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. But to be fair, I mean, he could invest in the club and
yeah, I get that. It's just, I don't know. As a trade union man, it's conflict with me with the sports direct stories that you hear and stuff like that. So I don't know what I'd think. I'd have to mull it up. I suppose that it'd be good that the club survives, but I don't know. It's my morals and ethics. But I don't know whether that was a tongue-in-cheek rumour or whether it could happen. You could imagine it, maybe, if he's giving up Newcastle, if he still wants a club, but I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, so like I say, we'll keep an eye out for this weekend, and if there's any more news coming up down the line, then obviously we'll get you back on and give you your thoughts.
No worries
on what's going on. And thanks for your time, Nathan. And
no worries.
Good luck and keep safe, mate.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Thanks, pal.